Come for the NASCAR.
You're damn right, baby.
Stay for the dad jokes.
Eileen.
You do?
It's the Morning Drive with Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone.
Oh, my gosh.
Before the top of the hour. Back on the Morning Drive. So glad you're with us here on this Monday morning. Before we dive in for our checker flags and black flags, you know, the SiriusXM crew made it to the racetrack this weekend in shifts. We had some on Saturday. We had a good chunk on Sunday. Sammy came down on Saturday, watched the Xfinity Series race with me. Good to have Sammy back at the racetrack. So what'd you think? Been a while since you've been back to Richmond, but it looks like you had a good time.
I did. I will say your broadcast spot this time infinitely better than your broadcast spot the first time I was there. Yes, I could still see the indentations from my fingers on the first time, and it is just as rusty as I remember it from the first time. So I don't know how we got all that man that we had up there on that thing, but we waited up for this one, me, you, and Melvin. It was a little windy up there, too. That was a little scary for a little bit. If I didn't have like a little fence around me, I would have been kind of worried about that. But it was a blast. It was great to see We got to see some fans. We got to meet a couple people. Elton Sawyer, Jeremy Clements, let us hang out with him for a little bit in the holler. That was kind of fun. But getting to meet Elton Sawyer was a special little treat. Julie Giese also was there too, so that was kind of fun. And then like I said, when you're up and you have that. Being at the track, obviously, watching the race from there, you can see so much more than what TV obviously shows you, what radio tells you, and stuff like that. So it was kind of fun to be in the background there and kind of be able to see everything that was going on. So it was a lot of fun. Again, bring someone to the racetrack, they're gonna want to come back probably. So I'm definitely gonna try to get to more races this year if I can. So it was a good time. Thank you for letting me go up there and letting me take my time climbing up and down the ladder that I had to get up to your billboard spot.
A little breezy up there, too, from the picture I saw.
A lot of breezy.
It wasn't breezy. It was a full-blown gale out there. And then after you left, Sam, it got windier.
Oh, great.
There was, the modified race got postponed from Friday night, and then the modified race went after the Xfinity race. Well, Sammy and Tori had prior commitment, so Sammy left. Melvin actually stayed halfway through the modified race. But there was a moment of horror. I have my numerical for the modified race, and look, I only do one modified race a year, so I'm not as up to speed on who's in the cars. Mm-hmm. I'm not making this up, and I felt awful that this happened, but they took the one to go to the green flag. I'm ready, right? Numerical in hand, push to talk button in hand. A gust of wind came. There goes the numerical. I turned to Melvin, who was standing there, and I don't know where he got this. He got a huge jumbo pretzel, and he was about halfway through. And I pulled. Hang on.
He climbed up that thing with the jumbo pretzel.
I wanted to see a picture of that.
Talented man.
Oh my God!
No, but it got better. So when it went flying away, it went back where I parked my car, and it just flew. Right. I turned to Melvin. I pulled my headphone back, and I said, "Melvin," and he like jolted him. I'm like, I need that piece of paper right now. Go get it for me, please. Well, he's like, what do I do with my pretzel? What do I do? So he sits it on the chair, right? The wind came and blew his pretzel off the chair.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you something.
No.
He's nimble. He's a wiry fella.
Sure.
Slim guy. Right down the ladder. Goes and gets it. Back up and gave me the numerical as we're completing the first lap. We looked around. Where the hell's the pretzel? Well, the pretzel has blown over. I owe him a pretzel. And you know what? He picked it up because it was sitting on the floor, basically.
Yeah,
he picked it up, dusted it off, and just kept digging.
Really?
My man.
Man, Melvin, saving the day. He saved the broadcast and the pretzel.
Now, here's also another funny thing. So when I took Sammy through the garage, it was raining. And so everybody scattered. At that time, I think they canceled Cup qualifying, so the Cup garage was emptying out pretty quick. So I had texted Elton, and I'm like, hey, where are you? Sammy would like to come by and say hi. He's like, I'm at the Cup hauler. So we go to the Cup hauler, and to get in out of the rain, Elton says, come on in here. So we stepped inside, and we're visiting with Elton, and then Elton proceeds to show Sammy the truck. And there are 3 there's the back portion, and then you go into like the inner office, and then you go upstairs into the principal's office. That's where like the drivers go when there needs to be a further conversation, say, with something that happened on the racetrack. So Sammy technically got called into the principal's office, but no disciplinary action was associated with it.
Did you get locked in there like Josh Williams did?
Well, so that's what I said. They go, no, he was in the one next door because we were in the cup hauler. Josh
you're in the cup hauler.
Josh was in the Xfinity hauler from the other week. Yeah, I got to go in there and see that. It was it's a nice got some nice digs.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Those offices on wheels like they've got going there.
When
pretty
I said,
cool.
I go, this wouldn't be too bad of a place, to have to sit there and wait, if you're going to get in trouble. And then they go, yeah, until you actually get the talking to. And I go, yeah, I guess that makes sense then, that it's probably not necessarily the best place. But we saw some, it was kind of crazy. Just obviously you're going to see race people, drivers, all that stuff walking around and all that. But like Austin Dillon just was walking around at one point. We stopped and chatted with him. Just, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, what's going on? Like, it was just, it's kind of crazy that you can just, it's so approachable, unlike a vast majority of other sports where you can't just sit there and just, hey, how you doing to some of these athletes? They wouldn't give you the time of day.
No.
Now, Sammy can attest to this. So we go to hunt down Jeremy, and I sent him a text. He didn't respond, and I asked the team where he was. Oh, he's up front. So I go knock on the door, and I open up. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then Jeremy
doesn't even wait for someone to say yes. He just knocks once, and then just opens the door and goes on into the.
I had been in there before, and they know me.
Oh, your face is your credential, is what you're saying.
Okay,
young man.
Well, Jeremy Clements in person is the same as he is on the air, is he not?
He is.
I would agree with that.
Oh,
he also
man,
did say that you sound to me. He goes, you sound the exact same as you do when I call in. You're on the phone with me. He turned his head to the side. He goes, talk to me for a second. And I said something. He goes, yeah,
just pretend.
He goes, yeah, it sounds just the same.
Now, Jeremy unfortunately was a little bit more animated on Saturday. He was a little frustrated about some things in the race. Obviously, after he had seen you guys. So, two different Jeremy
I tried to wave
Clements
to him a couple
Saturday.
times when he drove by, but he was busy driving a race car and wouldn't wave back.
Yes.
Jerk.
How dare him?
It was a fun time.
Well, that's good.
Sammy and Melvin Saturday, and then yesterday we had Dom, Pat, Jackson, and Margot made the trip down.
Wow.
So we
and
had
Davey
full
was
house. And then
Davey was
they
working
came
all
up
weekend. Actually,
they came up during stage 2 with me on Sunday yesterday.
Yeah.
They stayed around and then went back into the infield for the rest of the race.
So you had all that crew visiting. Davey was working. Pat Patterson was there working. We had it covered there. Sirius XM very well represented at Richmond over the weekend. That's great.
Dom rolling through the garage. It was hysterical.
Really?
Dommy, get in there, son.
I did have a slightly awkward moment.
Godfather of Sirius XM NASCAR radio.
I did have a slightly awkward moment, PD, on Saturday. There's a guy with a friend who stopped Mike and said, hey, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
And I said, do you want, to the friend who was going to take the picture, I said, do you want to get in the picture as well? And I can take a picture of all three of you. Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, no, he just wants it to be him and Mike. And not you. And I was like, no, I don't want to be in the picture. I'm just asking you, not like, because he was like, oh, hey, Sammy. The guy said it like he knew who I was. I wasn't trying to wedge, hey, dude, let me get in this. I was trying to ask the guy if he wanted to be in it as well. And the guy was like, no, he doesn't want you in the picture. And I was like, that's not
what I was asking.
Not what I was asking, but okay.
Sammy met Kevin in Virginia.
I did, and his wife as well. And a couple of friends that he had brought along too. Great representative for the sport there, just bringing everybody to the track all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just felt bad for the weather. I mean, the modified race on Friday night getting washed out, and then that really cold, rainy, wet weather that came through on Saturday morning. And then I know there was some question about the rain tires. Were they going to use them? Were they not going to use them? And all that. So I'm glad things cleared out there. You got all the racing in anyway.
So we were it was raining. We were waiting for the rain to stop on Friday night. Well, it had been a full day so far. I'd done TMD. So I'm like, let me put my seat back and let me just take a little nap, because it was going to be a little bit before he got going. So I laid my head back, and about an hour went by, and I got up and it's still raining. So I texted Ryan. I'm like, how long are we going to give this before we start to move? Well, Ryan sends a text back, says, we're not racing tonight. And I'm like, oh my God, they've left me.
What am I doing here? What am I still sleeping here?
Well, come to find out, they had just made that decision, and we came back on at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. And then we migrated back to the hotel. And then Saturday night is when we had, this weather came from out of nowhere.
That was
Went
bad.
to play a little round of golf. We had some
Came
good
from here.
food. Came back and we had dime-sized hail, and I tweeted a video of it, and then thankfully, all that blew through Saturday night. Sunday morning, we got up, beautiful sunshine, but it was crisp. Thank goodness we didn't have wind yesterday. But for all in all, it was a beautiful day at the racetrack. Sunny skies. It was just a fun day. It was a fun weekend at Richmond. I always love going to Richmond. Love going there.
Well, I'm glad the weather played out. Yeah, that weather you guys got Saturday came through here on Friday. We had a hellacious night of weather around here. It was really bad. Tornado. I think we had 14 tornadoes reported around the Chicagoland area on Friday night. So that's what blew through. And but I'm glad it blew out of there and you got all the racing in. So that's the bottom line.
We had a tornado down in Bridgeville, down in Sussex County. We also had some in Philadelphia and over in New Jersey. We had I think 10 tornadoes in the area, which we don't normally get that kind of. We get hurricanes when depending on how they line up. But we got some very inclement weather and there's a lot of damage. There's some roads in Philly that are closed and it's making rush hour just a mess up there right now. But all in all, it was a good weekend. While we hit a break, we'll come back on the other side. We'll give you our checker flags and black flags. We'll take yours as we do a dive into the Toyota Owners 400 race weekend at Richmond Raceway. Again, 866 Pit Lane. Go ahead and get your picks in as far as your checker flags and black flags. TMD is brought to you in part by our friends at Steven Singer Jewelers. Do you ever have trouble telling your mom just how much you love her? Sure, she makes you crazy. That's what moms do. She says you don't call enough. So what would make her happy? What does she really want? Well, if you ask most moms, they think you should put up a neon sign in Times Square that says, Mom, I love you. You're the best mom ever. Since you can't do that, I've got the answer for this Mother's Day. Go see my friend Steven Singer. Yeah, the I Hate Steven Singer guy. His brand new neon green 24-karat gold dip rose will light her up. This is his first of their brand new neon color roses. Her friends will be green with envy when they see this vibrant neon green 24-karat gold dip rose. It's the only rose that lasts forever, just like your mom's love. Steven's famous gold dip rose collection start at just $59 and ship for free in his premium gift box with a personalized Mother's Day card from you. Plus, a full lifetime guarantee, all included for free. Go now to IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven Singer Jewelers. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.